Hello YouTube, Lysergic here, and welcome to Planetside 2. This is going to be the first in an extended series of videos I'm going to do on this game. So if you're not new to Planetside 2, if you're a seasoned player or you just started out but you kind of know how the game works, you might want to skip this first video, because for starters we're just going to talk about the game in the most basic of terms. We're going to go over what the empires are, what's the difference, you know, empire specific vehicles, the map, how the map works, how you capture bases, the certification system, basically all the basics that you need to know before you get started in this game, because it does look simple at first. You know, you pick a team, you grab your gun, you start shooting, but there's actually a lot of little nuances that make this game one of my favorite shooters out there, and that's what this first video is going to be about. So without further delay, let's get started. And this is your create a character screen. You start the game up, you pick your server, and this is the first thing you're going to see. So we got 3 empires, 3 teams. I'm not going to really talk about the lore, the story too much, but for a short summary of the entire story, it's really not that complicated. You got this alien planet. These 3 different teams are stranded there, and they're fighting over ideals, who's right, who's wrong. But really what you want to know is, how am I going to kill people and what's the best way to do it? So, we'll start with the Vanu Sovereignty. The Vanu Sovereignty is, as you can see on the screen, a transhumanist cult of academics, intellectuals, and technology worshippers who believe that the human destiny lies in the further development and exploitation of alien technology. So these guys found some alien technology on this new planet that humans discovered, and now everybody's cut off from civilization. I made my first character on the Vanu Sovereignty, and their tagline, their motto, unofficially, is spandex and lasers. Just that, spandex and lasers. And hell, that got me. I was sold right away. I said, sign me up, spandex and lasers, I'm down. So they're pretty cool. It's a really awesome design philosophy they got going on there. And the Vanu's weapons have no bullet drop because they're laser guns. So you have no bullet drop as a Vanu. That's very attractive to a new player, but they don't really have anything special other than that. Just the no bullet drop is huge. It's a huge difference, and that's one of the things that makes Planetside great, is that it's not Call of Duty where no matter what team you're on, you got the same weapons, it's the same maps every day. There's always something new to see in Planetside, because if you make a new character, if you've been playing on Vanu Sovereignty for 2 months, you make a new character, you're going to have a totally different experience on a different empire. It's not just cookie cutter guns that are, you know, balanced, and there are a lot of balance issues with this game per se, but I would rather have a slightly unbalanced game and have a different weapon that I could try every day. And I would encourage you to try new things in this game for sure. So let's move on. The Vanu Sovereignty, they got no bullet drop, they got spandex and lasers. Their Empire specific vehicle tank is pretty cool. Their Empire specific land vehicle, I'm going to say that term a lot, Empire specific, that just means that it's an exclusive vehicle, weapon, whatever to that empire. You can't get it on a different team. The Empire specific tank for the Vanu is really cool. It's called the Mag Rider. It's a floating tank. It shoots plasma bullets instead of straight bullets, so that you got less bullet drop. You have more bullet drop on that, actually. The only weapons for the Vanu that have bullet drop are the tank, the main salvo bullets for the tank, and excuse my stutter, the main salvo bullets for the tank, and your sniper bullets. The snipers still have bullet drop, because that would just be unfair. So we'll get back to the Vanu later and talk about their specific benefits and drawbacks. But so let's give a quick summary of the New Conglomerate. The New Conglomerate, they're a separatist faction determined to remain free of the controlling and domineering Republic. The New Conglomerate is basically Space America. The Terran Republic is what I would call 29th whatever century colonial Britain. Colonial Britain in the 29th century. They're Space Britain. They just want to control everything. They want to rule the world. They want to have their hand in everybody's pocket. And New Conglomerate is Space America. So they said, screw you, Britain. We're going to do our own thing. And they took over some weapon manufacturing plants or something to that effect. And the The advantage of that is that the new conglomerate has a higher bullet velocity. Their bullets are shot with magnets. It's more like Gauss weapons. They have this cool sniper called the Mag Sniper, whatever it is. The Mag Sniper is really awesome. It has a little bit of a delay on its shot because it's a magnetically accelerated bullet. It has better bullet penetration. It has better, not penetration. It has better bullet velocity. It has better bullet impact. It does a lot more damage than I think any other sniper in the game. And that's the cool advantages you get in Planetside from having these three totally different republics, is that every republic has weapons that you cannot get on any of the other ones. It has many weapons that you cannot get on the other ones, and a lot of them are totally different. The new conglomerate, for example, has a shotgun called the Jackhammer, and the Jackhammer is like a drum magazine, rapid fire, semi-auto shotgun that just does a crap ton of damage, and it's specific only to the heavy assault, and he's pretty badass. But we'll get to, specific weapons and classes in a little bit. Let's finish it up with the Terran Republic, who are a conservative, authoritarian, collectivist nation who strive to regain contact with the homeworld and reunite the warring factions. The Terran Republic, their MO is high rate of fire. Every one of their weapons has a ridiculous rate of fire, and they tear you to pieces. They may not have as much bullet damage as the other two, and that's kind of tough, but if you don't know how to aim, the Terran Republic is the empire for you, for sure. They don't have to aim, they can just fill the air with bullets. And one thing I like about the Terran Republic is their tank. Their tank is completely badass. Their heavy machine guns are ridiculous, just have bullets coming out of everywhere. And every time I face down the Terran Republic, I just wait for them to come around the corner, because when I turn the corner, you get a face full of lead. Alright, so let's say we want to create a new character on the Vanu Sovereignty. I know a lot about them, so like I said, my first character was on the Vanu Sovereignty. So now you get the server screen. There recently was a lot more servers, but they consolidated a lot of the US servers into this Emerald one, and that's the new US East server. It's got pretty good population. Most of the time it's about 6 o'clock in the morning right now, so the population's not very high. But let's just make a character on here, because I get the best ping time to that server. There's a lot. This game sometimes has 1,000 people on the screen at once. That's another thing that obviously makes it stand out from any other FPS. I don't think you're gonna see 1,000 people most of the time, but I have. Most fights are usually between 100 and 200 people, and it gets pretty intense. Half the game is knowing where to stand, and we'll talk a lot about that later. So let's make our character name Lysergic with 10 eyes. I'm not gonna be able to remember that. 3 eyes, because I think I did all the rest of them. Okay, no, I already did that one. 3 eyes and 2 Ks. Beautiful. Let's make a female. I don't like their faces. Let's make a male. This guy. Sounds good. You're gonna skip the tutorial, because I'm your tutorial. So let's make this character. Now I'm gonna have a little bit more guns unlocked when we first jump in, because I've bought guns on my other characters, and that's what's cool. If you use the pay to play, or pay to win, if you want to call it, cash method to buy guns, if you create another character on the same empire, those guns will be unlocked on that empire. So that's something to remember if you want to throw a couple dollars into the game. So we're gonna let this load up. Okay, so here we are, we're at the map. But while we're on the topic of money, I'm going to make a note that this game is completely free. You can download the whole thing and play it without paying $1. And there's not a single weapon in the game, a single vehicle in the game that you can unlock with money that you can't unlock with experience. So I would absolutely not call this game pay to play or pay to win. You could absolutely accelerate your progress. You could buy guns with real money. But once you get good, it doesn't really take you that long to earn certs anyway. You can unlock boosters with money. You can earn experience faster by becoming a member. All these things. But Sony's got to make their money somehow. I think that it's awesome that this game is free, and for that matter, and because there's nothing hidden behind paywalls, I don't mind the pay system. But I'm not here to debate that. So let's get back to learning about this game. So here's your map. This is what you're going to see when you first log in. This basically gives you the state of the nation. And you have 4 continents. That's something that I didn't actually notice for about a week while I was playing this game. You have 4 continents. So let's look at Indar. Indar is currently locked right now. That means that the Vanu Sovereignty conquered more than half the map and won the alert. We'll get to more on that later. But what you gotta know is that if you get pushed back to your warp gate in the continent, there's a chance that the enemy is gonna lock it. So let's look at one that's got something going on right now. Blue is NC, New Conglomerate. Purple's VS, Vanu Sovereignty. We're losing really bad over here, but we just locked Indar before. And red is the Terran Republic. So you got these little lines. What are those lines? Those lines are the lattice system. And the lattice system means that you need to have a connection to this base to take it. So we could take this base right now by marching in there, getting on the point, and holding the point down until the timer goes out. That's how you take the most basic of bases. As you can see, there's some people fighting over it. Now there's hundreds of these bases, and sometimes at one of these bases, if it's a really hot spot, I have seen battles literally rage for days. For days. Specifically, this one spot on Indar, people have fought over numerous times for multiple days at a time, and no one has won the battle. And that's one of the most important things, is that if you're not having fun at one battle, don't fight there for days. You can cut your losses, and as long as it's not 4 o'clock in the morning like it is right now, you don't even have to switch continents. There's gonna be another big battle going on somewhere on the map. I promise you that. So if you're not having fun somewhere, if you're just getting killed, beat up, always remember that. It's an important thing. If you're not having fun, you could always switch. There's always another battle going on that you could probably have more fun at somewhere else. You gotta know when to cut your losses. So let's talk a little bit more about these bases. Most of these bases just have either an A point or an A, B, and C point. They have these points. They're control points, just like domination in Battlefield. Your team has to get up there, they got to get in there, and they got to hold the point until it flips, and then it's your base. Like I said, if I try to take this base, I can't take it because I don't have a lattice connection here. If I had a lattice, if there was one of these lines from this base to this base, I could take it. Now, an important tactic is that if we cut them off here, if we take Frere Substation and Frere Northern Barracks, they can't expand from Crystal Ridge because they're cut off from the lattice. So they're stuck there, and they should basically just let us take the base, but that never happens because they can't expand from it. It's useless. It's a lost cause unless they can take Frere or Frere Substation back. So moving on from there, sometimes capturing a base isn't as simple as just taking the point. So moving on from there, sometimes capturing a base is not as simple as just taking the point. If you got a biolab, an amp station, or a tech plant, those all have a lot more stuff going on. And the important thing about these 3 bases, each empire has one on their side. Each empire on their side has a biolab, an amp station, and a tech plant. Biolab, amp station, tech plant. Now, see how they're distributed? Usually that means one team has more biolabs, more amp stations, and more tech plants than the other. What that means is that team is going to generate resources faster. They get benefits like turret heat reduction, extra health regeneration, and main battle tech acquisition. So your timers for all those things go down if you control biolab, tech plant, amp station. So those are important to have an advantage for your empire. Now let's say we wanted to take one of these bases, we would need to pick the right class for the battle, right? So let's take a little look at the class system. When you want to jump in, you have this whole thing here, deployment and spawn as, you got statistics, but we're going to look at this part right here. The deployment screen, if you're in a squad, your squad's going to be at the top, and you can usually hop right in with your squad. Being in a squad is a very important part of the game, because without teamwork, you're not going to do very much. Unless you're very good at the game, you need teammates. You can't really lone wolf this one unless you're going to be a sniper, and everybody hates snipers, so don't be that guy. No, you can be a sniper. but that's probably the only way you're going to lone wolf it. You could just follow the big, giant swath of people, but it's great. Communication is a huge part of this game, and it makes a huge difference. Until I started playing with a squad, I really didn't enjoy this game that much, but as soon as I started, you know, I picked an outfit, which is a clan, hopped in, started talking to people on the mic, cooperating, you know, making coordinated strikes. Everybody hops in planes and we do a giant airdrop, you know, blow bomb people. You do all these, you could do all these. There's a lot of crazy tactical playbook things you got going on. And every different outfit has a few different tricks in their playbook, and it's really cool. So other than that, if you're not in a squad, on the deployment screen, these are usually areas that are either close to your last spawn or need reinforcements or something like that. And if you don't feel like picking where you're going to spawn with one of these little green buttons here, you can hit instant action. And usually instant action will do a pretty good job of popping you into a big fight right away. And that's a good way to start the game. If you don't go through the tutorial, you can just click on instant action and hop right in. So, we got 5 classes. Infiltrator, he's a sniper. Light assault, combat medic, engineer, and heavy assault. So I'm going to cut this video off here, and in part 2, we'll talk about the classes, and we'll do some gameplay. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe if you want more. See you in the next video.